often doubt your ability to create your own results and don't really trust yourself when you make a goal? Well, if you are in that boat and want to get some actual tools and ways to help you prioritize that experience in your life, episode for you. My name is Darren Thomason, and this is the Quilters Coach Podcast, episode 166, How to Guarantee Your Own Result. This topic is really looking at how life coaching, the tools of life coaching are the are what's going to help you get the results that you want. So when I got a life coach, for example, I wanted to feel less stressed. I wanted to feel more relaxed. I wanted to lose weight and I wanted to feel in control of my life. And I wanted to enjoy my life because on the outside, my life looked amazing and incredible. I had this loving husband. I got all these really cool kids. I have this house up on a mountain surrounded by trees. I had a I have cars. I have electricity. Like I have an amazing life. I live on an amazing place. Like right now that I'm recording this, this is a summer vacation destination. You drive around, you go to anywhere and you'll hear lots of different languages because there's people who all over. And I have an amazing life. But I still felt I even have an amazing relationship with God. And I still felt like I was missing out. And just 2 episodes ago, I talked about the law of 50-50. I understand that one. But today I wanted to talk about these 3 categories that are going to help you to feel more in I'm gonna give you 3 categories of a way to organize your life and the way that you set up your how you use your time and energy. That's gonna really be helpful. And I am using this principle. In fact, I heard this talk probably 15 years ago, and it has been a really great guide to me. It is not a religious talk, so if you're not into religion, that's fine. But I did put it here in the show notes, and the woman that shared it, her name is Julie B. Back, and I have really admired her, and I really appreciate her life experience and how she shared that with. All right. But before we go into the heart of these 3 different categories of how to feel like you can start guaranteeing your own result, I want to share a win from a member in my membership. This is a win for one of my members who has been married for a long time, but has a lot of hangups with money and the way that they they have money responsibilities between the 2 of them. And so quite often she will use money as a way to rebel or to kind of use some power. And she knows that it's not healthy and she knows it's not awesome, but it's just been for so many years of their marriage. It's one of the ways that she has felt like she can have some control. And recently she asked if he would sit down and talk to her about a decision that she wanted to make about spending some money. And what happened was they had a level of connection that they hadn't felt in a really long time. And so one of the things that she realized was that, even though he has different way of her husband's very even keel. He doesn't show a lot of emotion and she does show a lot of emotion. And so she often feels disconnected. But what happened was she was able to take her relationship and to the next level because she was able to talk to him and open that door up. And it just has been such a g- such a just such a relief for her because now she knows that this is a door that's been opened. It was well received. And the next thing she did was she went through a lot of her emails and deleted them of places where she's really tempted to spend money and of various other places. And so to respect him and respect her. And so their relationship has really improved. So when I talk about in the past, and I would talk about I'd say my program was a weight loss program. I truly mean it. My program is a weight loss program, but it's not your typical weight loss program. It's not the let's weigh in, let's weigh out, how many calories did you eat, all of that. We don't do, we don't really do any of that. So it's a very, what does my son always say? It's nonchalant. It's not your typical weight loss. And so I'm really explaining it more and more on what's really involved in permanent weight loss. So this episode is talking about how do you guarantee your results and how life coaching and organizing your thoughts and learning how to think in a different way is going to make such a difference for you. So I'm really excited to share this with you. And this, a lot of times people will ask me, how do I do everything? I have 5 kids and before I was a life coach, of course I was a professional quilter. And I am a little embarrassed to say that I would put the kids to bed 9:30, and then I would start quilting. And I usually would quilt till 2, 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. Not my most awesome choice, but I felt like I needed to do that for my family. And anyways, that's what I did. But the reason I got so much done and I was able to do a lot of this was because I had these categories. And in fact, I have this old piece of paper and I wrote these notes down on a piece of cardstock and I had this taped up on my wall for years and years and years. So let's look at the very first thing about life coaching and about if you want to make permanent change in your life, the most important aspect is that your worth as a human being has already been decided. You cannot make yourself more worthy. The worth is already there. You already got 100%. So it's like writing a test. Like you get the test and you already got 100%. So then the teacher says, I just want to see your picture. I just want to see your drawing. I just want to see your ideas. I just want to hear your perspective. You already got 80%. Don't worry about it. Like, let's just, I want to hear what you have to say. And that's what life is. Life is this opportunity to, it's like a blank canvas. It's like you can just decide what you want to do. And so, but that decision has nothing to do with if you do this, then you're a more worthwhile person. Okay. If that is the only thing that you ever get from me, then my work has been done. But if you want help learning how to put those things in practice and start living a life and get really good at living your life that way, I'm your girl. I'm here to help you. Okay. So the first thing is we've got to categorize. So we have this life we live, and there are 3 different categories in this analogy. The first one is there's a necessary things we have to do. So the necessary are things like we need to have food, we need to have a home, a shelter, water, cleaning, homemaking, groceries, financial responsibilities, even things like smiling and having fun and listening to people and having true connection, giving love, receiving love. Those are necessary. If you don't have those things, then you will not survive. We hear about those, orphans orphans. And if they are not getting love and touch and those connections, they don't thrive and they have all sorts of issues. So I love what Julie Beck said in the address that she gave. She said, all she goes, a house is peopled by people, not little soldiers. So, and the thing with ourselves is like, we're not little soldiers. We're not perfect. We have emotions. We can get disappointed. We can feel all sorts of positive and negative emotions. And so we need to have that same level of compassion and understanding for ourselves. Now, the next category, and this is all written in the worksheet. The worksheet is awesome. Okay. So make sure you go and download the worksheet. The next one is essential. So seeking personal development, connecting with ourselves through nature, service with God, healing, growth. And one of the things that I say that I will get pushback from is that we actually know what we have our own answers because and whether you believe in God or not, there's this like inner knowing, our intuition. I believe that we lived with God before we came here. We were our own individual person with our own personality, and so when we're on this earth, we're having an opportunity to uncover all of that and rediscover who we really are. And so whatever your belief is, however you look at it, we all have an inner knowing because we all know ourselves best. We know what kind of parents we had. We know what kind of house we grew up. We know what our siblings, we know that how we reacted to our brother teasing us. We have all of those um, challenges and obstacles and just facts. Like that's just how it was. I was a third child of six. So I have all of these complexities, but they're mine. And so I get to own it. And then I get to work within those parameters. And I know myself best. And so I need to make sure that I am listening to me and that I'm paying attention to what works for me. I cannot be wearing other people's shoes and be comfortable. And even my new shoes, like when I step into a new identity, same thing with you, is you have to break those in. So when you think about this is essential. This self-connection, this ability to be inside of you, listen to your intuition. And the other part of this is you have your own unique abilities. I remember when I first had my son, and it was really hard for me to like not go to work every day and not be super organized and planned. Like when I was a school teacher, I just a lot of planning and lots of structure. And my I made a friend who was a pharmacist, and they ended up moving 7 doors down from us. And she was really fun. And the thing is, I'm fun, but I didn't know how to be fun in as a mom. I knew how to be fun as a teacher. I knew how to be fun as a friend. I knew how I was starting to know how to be have fun as like married, but I didn't really know what to do with myself during the day. I didn't really know how to really like be this a mom to this baby who I adored, but I didn't really know how to have fun. And hanging out with Karen was amazing because Karen helped me have fun. She gave me permission, and when she did that, I was able to start trusting in myself of my unique talents and abilities. And so I created some really fun things. And recently I was with her and she said, "Do you remember that club that you started, Mothers Without Children?" I said, "Oh, yeah, that's right." And she said, "That was really awesome. I loved it." And she goes, "You even had like a logo and everything. We had like club meetings." She goes, "I loved it. It like was really, really helpful." They really struggled with infertility. They ended up adopting 3 kids. But she said that helped her so much knowing that she was a mother without a child. And that was one of my unique abilities. And so that was essential for me to listen to my intuition and to contribute. Okay. And then the third part, bucket or category is the nice to dos. So we actually need to do the nice to dos, which are crafts. And hello, I'm the quilter's cage. Hobbies, leisure, movies, travel, reading, going for lunch with friends. Those are really important. And then, so when if you're feeling guilty about doing those things, I'm going to help you with. perspective. I have two different perspectives to look at it this way. The first one is, and this is from Julie's talk. She said that her father-in-law was a shift worker. So sometimes he was day shift, sometimes after the afternoon shift, and sometimes the evening shift. And she said she learned from him, you can't do all three shifts. You can't be on all of the time. And because you need to have energy, you need to have that. And so when I think about our mind juice, right? We only have so much energy a day. And so if we are not balancing our priorities, if we're not making sure we're doing essential things, necessary things, and the nice to do things, and if we're doing too much of the nice to do's and not enough of the necessary and the essentials, we'll flop. If we're doing too much of the essentials and not enough of the necessaries and the nice to do's, we'll flop. Right? So it's like a triangle. If you're on the tip of the triangle, you're going to just go off kilter. But learning how to balance those three areas is going to be so helpful. The other thing, and it's from the Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway book. She talked about how if you put all of your eggs in one basket. So for example, if your whole identity and your whole purpose is all around your relationship, so let's say your marriage or your kids, then you're putting you're setting yourself up for failure because what if the husband passes away? What if the kids launch like my kids are doing? What if they don't do what you want them to do? What if they make different choices? Like, and so if your whole being and your whole purpose is on relationships, then you're in trouble, right? You're off balance. And so and she actually, if you're looking on the YouTube screen, you'll see my little diagram behind me. So instead of having all your eggs in the relationship basket or all your eggs even in the work basket or whatever that is, you have 9 categories or 12 or however many categories. So you have a life of, you have the hobbies, you have the physical stuff, you have the mental stuff, you have all these different categories. And so then you plan for it. You're like, this is my contribution time. This is what I give service. Or this is my crafting time. This is my leisure time. This is my vacation time. This is my, and so you can now put yourself in different categories and you can feel so much happier. Okay. So I love, I really love these different ways of figuring out how to be a more balanced, healthy human being. Now, the the part of the thing that I want to emphasize is that we are all living human beings. We're all having our own unique experience. And if we don't have support or a structure or understanding, then we will not be living the kind of life we have. And so we end up doing a lot of scrolling, a lot of eating, a lot of shopping, a lot of over people pleasing, maybe a lot of procrastinating, maybe really stressing on the perfectionism and never really stepping into our own power. And as a life coach, it is my privilege and honor to help women, giving them this toolbox and saying, hey, listen, you don't have to stay stuck. I'm going to help you connect with your body and your brain, and I'm going to help you to truly start living a life that you want to live that is authentic and unique to you. And so you can be you. When I was in grade 8, I went on the bus an hour and a half one way. So it was 3 hours every day. I had to wake up really early, got my lunch ready, walked to the bus. I think we had to be there. Well, my neighbor actually was also on the bus. So I woke up, got my lunch ready, and then we would walk together and we would sometimes sing Run DMC. Anyways, he was a guy. And, and then we'd be on this bus forever. And one of my best friends, she was on the same bus stop. And I talked on the bus the whole time. And so by 8 o'clock every night, I pretty much lost my voice because I just talked so much. I had my friends and everything, and it was just what I did. And I remember one time someone saying, "You just talk a lot." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. That's who I am." And I used to feel a lot of shame about it. But then I realized, no, it's like that's who I am. I'm a social person. I love connecting with people. And sometimes I don't. And I've changed now. I don't talk as much, but I have different boundaries or whatever. But I remember thinking, oh, is that a bad thing? And then I realized, no, people like me and people like having someone to talk to and someone who's paying attention to them and having different conversations. I just get to be me. And that's what I want all of you to become. Because the problem is, if you are constantly shaming yourself or blaming other people or not stepping into who you really are, who you are authentically, you're never going to be happy. And I do have to share this one experience that I just had recently. And it actually kind of breaks my heart. So I often go to these, obviously, quilting events and different events, and I meet a lot of people. And people are pretty attracted to talking to me, and there's something about my assurance and my confidence that definitely brings people in, and I get it because I love what I have to offer, and I 100% believe in my tools, like 100%. And I am so thrilled to be helping people. And so I was able to have a conversation with someone that I met at one of these events. And we were talking about the different challenges that this person is experiencing. And so I was able to say, I know exactly what's going on for you. And I was able to share with her the kinds of things that we would have to do so that she would no longer fall into these traps. And and she's very aware that these are traps that she has created. And for me just to articulate exactly, you know, buffering with her work, overworking, all these different things. And I said, would you want to change? And she said, I actually wrote it down. She said, I don't think it's worth my time to figure out. And I just felt so sad for her. She feels like she is so far gone that she has made so many mistakes that she can't change. And it's a lie. It's a lie. And one of the things that I said was, it's hard being you right now, but you know how to be that person. So you have coping strategies and you just know what to expect. You just know that that's how you're going to be. And it's hard. It's hard being you, but you know how to be that. Or you can choose to change, to actually resolve and work through and overcome and create those changes. It's going to be hard to rewire your brain and to feel the feelings and to look through all of that and to have that kind of growth. I said, but at least if you start doing this hard, you know that there's freedom because the other hard, you never change. It's just going to be Groundhog's Day. So I want you to know that you are not too far gone. You are not past the point of no repair. And that is actually a lot simpler than you think. You just have to be willing to show up for yourself. So I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I want to make you this promise that your worth as a person is already there. It's like you are the golden goose. And now you just have to learn how to see that. And these tools will help you with that. All right. I love you all so much. I'm so grateful for the changes that I've made in the membership. So no longer do you just get the weight loss modules. Well, you did. So I'm so grateful for the changes that I've made in the membership because it reflects so much more of what's happening in there. So you will get, of course, you continue to have the weight loss modules, but you start learning the feelings modules and the model and the tool of 50/50 and the tool of emotional adulthood and how to make goals. And then I'm adding new modules all the time. It's just a cornucopia. There's so much there because we are not just 2D people. We're complex and we have there's so many complexities to being a human. And so just like with this that I shared today with the necessaries, the essentials, and the nice to dos, I'm here to help you to learn how to build those systems and those ways to help you. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.
If you aren't loving your current life and hear yourself saying things like, I should be happier, I should be getting more done, or question how productive and fulfilled you are, this podcast is for you. I'm Dara Thomason, professional quilter turned life coach for quilters, where I show you how to overcome obstacles like perfectionism, people pleasing, overeating, overcomplicating life, so that you can really start to enjoy your life by learning and using tools for your brain to help you transform your everyday living. Are you ready to make these changes? I'm ready to help. Let's start your transformation one UFO at a time.